last episode gets to pick the topic for this episode, but since last episode we had our first ever guest on the show, we are gonna just make Brandon pick the topic because he was he was the third wheel beforehand. So it's Brandon's the third wheel still because he tied, so no one was a third wheel last episode. So Brandon's been a third wheel for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm Steven, and I'm joined here by Brandon and Grace. Say hi, guys.
Hey guys, welcome to the Third Wheel Podcast.
You just got made fun of.
Yeah.
I don't even know who I was making fun of.
Maybe
I was making fun of you, making fun of Steven.
Yeah, you were mocking Brandon's mock of me. Damn. Alright, well, Brandon, since you are the guy who didn't win, what are we doing today? What are we talking about?
We're gonna talk about the evolution of video game consoles and maybe video games itself or something like whatever in that area of discussion.
That's so incredibly vague.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking I was just gonna start out by talking what's the first ever video game console you guys owned, and I have a few just kind of stories from that. But I mean, I'm not meaning for this to be strictly stories. I was just thinking, our just ideas or thoughts on just how video games have just progressed since when we were younger and stuff.
Damn, that's crazy.
Since the young lad stage.
Since you were a young lad.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Brandon, then you pick topic. You go first. What's up? Let's talk about stuff.
Okay, well, personally for me, I think the first video game console I ever actually played games on was the Wii, just the standard Wii. I mean, Wii Sports, the whole bowling and baseball stuff.
Lovely.
That's where one of my first stories actually stems from. I don't know. I just have very fond memories of just Wii Sports in general. Wii Sports Resorts was great, but the original Wii Sports, at the time, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But then, I think it was a long while ago. But many years later, I picked it up again, and I just didn't realize how delayed some of the motion stuff was at the time, especially with baseball, where it mattered swinging the bat. But anyways, so yeah, my very first video game console was the Wii, and I think the very first video game I ever played and completed was Super Mario Galaxy. So yeah, so this one story I was talking about earlier, this was back when, I don't know, it was when my dad lived in the apartment, and stuff, right after my mom separated. So this was when I was probably, I want to say I was 7.
Womp womp. Cue sad sound effect for Brandon's divorced parents' sad childhood.
And so my sister and I, my dad had gotten the Wii for us or whatever just to play while we were there. And my sister and I would play Wii Sports. We'd beat the absolute crap out of each other in the boxing game and stuff like that.
I'm glad you added that last part because otherwise. Yeah, playing Wii Sports,
funny
beat the shit
enough,
out of each other.
Funny enough, when we decided not to play the boxing game, we decided, okay, we're gonna play the baseball game.
Well, I was expecting you to say we'd actually beat the crap out of each other. I was so ready to be that's not video game related.
Oh, well, just
much?
Yeah, pretty much. So we played baseball. It was my turn to bat, and again, when I said before, like, I didn't realize how delayed it was at the time, younger me, like, I obviously didn't realize that at the time. So I think my goal was to just swing my Wii remote, like, absolutely, like, as hard as I could, just to, like, I don't know, because that seemed to be working for me as far as, like, being able to hit the ball every time, or at least close to all the time. And, it was my turn to bat, and you know, I was unsuspected. My dad was just watching us in the background, just doing his own thing on his phone or whatever on the couch, and I was under the impression that my little sister was with him, like behind me during that time, and so the little me character, like, it just pitches the ball, and I go to swing really hard, but as I'm in the motion of swinging the Wii remote as hard as I can, I hear my sister start speaking words, like right, like coming up right behind me, and I smacked the
Oh,
absolute
Jesus
her face with the
Christ.
Wii remote on accident.
Oh,
Damn.
no.
It was a little personal.
Because she just came up. I don't even remember what she was trying to say, but like she
Probably
just
because you
straight up
almost
on there.
murdered
But
her.
I couldn't even stop myself because I was in the motion. My brain just didn't process it. And there's just a loud just smack, like.
Yeah, because there's a very big plastic controller and a very big, thick skull.
And yeah, like I said, funny enough, you said that you thought we were actually beating the crap out of each other. She wasn't happy, and she started trying to hit me.
I wouldn't be happy either. Justifiable.
She thought that I hit her on purpose, and I was trying so hard to explain no, that's not. Yeah, so that was an interesting night.
Yeah, sounds like it, man. I don't
So
know
yeah,
about I don't know about you guys, but my first console that I ever played on or experienced was the original Nintendo Entertainment System.
oh
Uh,
yeah,
my dad loved video games, like all video game aspects. He had, the oldies. He had the Atari. We had the Dreamcast. We had the NES, the Sega, uh, just like the normal like the one after the Dreamcast that had the little cartridges. We had a lot of old consoles, and I grew up on a lot of those, but the NES was the one that I particularly was fond of. Not because, like, I didn't like the Sega games, because, you had Sonic and all those different characters, right? But it
yeah,
was just because of the fact that, like, my dad also just had a preference for Nintendo. You had your games like Mario and Legend of Zelda, and other things like that. But there was one particular game that we had that was also baseball, which is really funny because, like, the NES has just the dial pad of moving up, down, left, or right, and BA buttons. Those are it, and then the selected, the start buttons. Those are all you had, and you were playing baseball with them. That made no sense. And growing up, my dad would always like play this game with my brother and I, but we didn't learn like how on acid this game was for quite some time. It took a couple of, I would say honestly, it took maybe a year or two. Like I said, it would be 6 and 8 would be like the ages of us, and so we got older, and started to realize like the mechanics of the game after a little bit. But we didn't know that in this game you could just kind of have like superpowers. Your
well,
baseball characters could do like random things, and each one had powers, but only specific teams could have those powers. obviously my dad knew which ones and would always play like those specific teams, and my brothers and I would just be like, I like this color, and choose a team that was completely useless in this game, and we would get like our asses wiped because of the fact that you just had players that could hit the ball through the ground or straight into space, and meanwhile we can't even hit it like 5 feet in front of us. We're just like, oh, okay, makes sense. But my parents did this thing where they they didn't like they did like a quote unquote sheltering tactic when it came to video games. So I think my dad stopped buying video game consoles after the Wii came out, which I think was in like '07 was when the Wii came out.
Mhm.
Um, and I think that was like the last console that he ever bought, because after then there was way too many buttons for him. But yeah, we had other consoles, but they were bought for us when we asked for them, Christmas, birthday stuff. The last console that he bought was the Wii. Um, and they did this thing where they would like introduce us to new consoles, maybe like 4 years after they had already came out.
Oh,
That's why my first like gaming console was the NES, because I was born in '03. By that time, the Wii was already being like, it was a thought, it was an idea of like, this is what we can do. But I'm pretty sure by the time the Wii came out, the Xbox One was, no, not the Xbox One, the original Xbox and the original PlayStation were already existing consoles. So
mhm.
with that being said, the first time I actually got my own PS1, which I still have, by the way, was when I was like, I think 10 years old. This would be 2013. This would be about the time the Wii U is about to come out. And we got a 360, like around that time. My oldest brother actually bought his 360 and a PlayStation 2. Um, when he got money for it, doing jobs and whatnot. My brother and I were just like, "Whoa, what is this?" Because we were used to this white cylindrical box thing that was the Wii. We're like, "What the
Right.
hell is this?" And my brother was just. I remember my brother being like, "Have you not seen anything about this? Like, these are also old. The Xbox like One is about to come out in a few years," and I was just like, "Oh." Remembering being completely startled by the fact that these things were just existing for a while and having absolutely no idea that they existed. I'm more up to date, like our family is more up to date on all these things. One, because I'm fascinated by video games and love everything about them. I've also done like research papers and made it my major. So it's like I basically, I'm cut up to date with everything. My family can't just be like, well, that hasn't come out yet, because they stopped paying attention years ago. It was already too late at that time. My brother had ruined me, apparently. But yeah, I would always be
Unlucky.
like a generation behind in video games, and it would be really cool to like just know that had already come out, because by the
That's
time
really
that
funny.
I learned about it, it was cheaper than it
Yeah.
came out. So
What
yeah.
I find really, really funny about that is me too. Essentially, this isn't like my first ever video game console, but I remember my brother, he always had a lot more technology than me, computer-wise, game console-wise, like everything. Um, he was just more savvy with it, and I never really thought to ask for it, because even if I did, it was like, oh, you're too young to know what to do with it. So I was always like, I used to love my sick days, because then I could sneak into my brother's room and play video games on his 360. And he hated me for it, because apparently his friends would send him like game invites, and I had no idea how to do anything other than just like go to like the game thing at the time. So I
Mhm.
missed it, and his friends were upset with him for not responding to their messages and stuff.
Ooh.
But me, who was a small youngin' who just wanted to play Left 4 Dead 2, I was just like, I'm sorry. So essentially, I was banned from that, essentially, and I begged so much. I was like, Mom, more than anything in the world, I want an Xbox 360. I was like, absolutely like, I want this. Like, I've never had my own console before. Like, I would use it like all the time, etc. So flash forward to Christmas, because it wasn't too far off from when I asked, and I did. I got a 360, and I was so excited, and I was so pumped about it, and that exact year, the Xbox One came out, and like, it immediately became obsolete, and I like couldn't even be upset about it because I asked for it. I just didn't know the one was gonna come out, especially so soon. But I still used it. Like, I used it for like GTA 4. I bought 5 later. I used it for like a lot of Skyrim. A lot of Skyrim.
I love Skyrim.
So yeah, me too. I mean, I did not do at all what I was supposed to. I did not follow the story of the game. I liked running around pickpocketing people and murdering people. There was even a time where like I was like pickpocketing this business owner. And essentially, I didn't realize he couldn't die, and so I was like, oh crap. So I pickpocketed this guy, I was looting his store, and he's like chasing after me, and he's like immortal. So I murdered his wife, and I brought her back to life so she'd fight him while I was randomly And it was just, oh my god, oh my god, I thought it was the funniest shit ever. And then I think I was escaping prison in like Whiterun or something, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there? And they're like these 2 guys just like fighting a dragon or something. And this is like after like a year and a half of me playing. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there? So I walk over and it's like the fucking introduction of like them explaining how to like kill dragons and whatever. And I was like, no, I have not been playing this game right at all. I've just been running around looting shit. And that's not at all the point, but I had a great time. Great time, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
My first ever console, though, I started like off as a very like technology based family. We had like one of those big blocky computers with like a huge monitor that was the size of like,
Hell
you know, like those small TVs that had like a built-in VR, or I was gonna say VR, VCR.
Yeah.
You know, like with essentially, that's how big the monitor was. It was like one of those mini TVs. It was that big. And I remember I used to play Diner Dash on it all the time. Purple Place, which had like 3 games on it, but it still slapped nonetheless. And one game that I absolutely loved that no one who I've ever talked to has heard of, and it was called Insane Aquarium. And essentially, it was like you had a fish tank. And like as you progress, you could just get more like sea creatures, and like the better you took care of your sea creatures, like the more coins they drop, you can get like more whatevers.
So it was like a basic mobile app before mobile apps became a thing?
Yeah, kind of. Actually, what's weird is I think somebody copyrighted the idea, because I don't think it was patented. Sorry. So I actually found like an app version of this game, and I was like obsessed, and I grinded it for like 2 weeks straight, because I was just like, holy crap, like this is my childhood game. Oh yeah, Insane Aquarium is an actual app. Go check it out. Literally my childhood. If you look it up on the App Store, it is there. Yeah, monsters come and kill your fish too, so it's not like a game where like you're just farming and raking it in, like there's this like goal and whatever. It's really fun, really mind-numbing, and I liked it as a kid. I too, 2008 hit, and that was a hard time for everybody. Like everybody was losing their properties, everyone's parents were getting divorced, and you know what? Every kid got a Wii, and I was not an exception to that. While everybody's parents were getting divorced in the kitchen, I was vibing. And you know what? I agree with Brandon. I think that Wii Sports is better than Wii Sports Resort. And I say that for one thing and one thing only. Bowling was so much better in Wii Sports Resort, or Wii Sports, than it ever was in Wii Sports Resort. Like I loved Wii Sports Resort for like archery and like what was that like duel thing?
Oh, it was like the fencing kind of.
Yeah,
Like,
I like the fencing, I like the duel thing, etc. But bowling just wasn't it. The controls were so different, and I just wasn't here for
Yeah,
it.
they
I didn't
introduced like that 100 pin thing. Like,
yeah,
that was
and like the
kinda
only
fun,
way,
but,
and then
like,
there's like that
yeah.
weird like secret way where you have to like hit the light on the side, and it'll do like a loud thump and then knock everything over.
Yeah, that
That
was
was so
like my
dumb
whole
to me.
purpose. That's like that, like the whole
thought it was
entire
so dumb.
time
Yeah.
me
But,
playing that was
yeah.
dedicated just hitting that wave
So
button.
we had a Wii, we had a ton of games. That was a vibe. I got my first ever laptop, which didn't have like a little CD thing, like a little CD reader. So that was or a DVD reader, which was the worst. As a child who was trying to copy my sister and play The Sims, that's all I wanted. And granted, this was like, I think this was like either pre-Steam or like right when it started, so I didn't know about it yet. But like originally you'd have to like go like into the store and buy the CD for like the base game, and then you could keep buying like bundles and stuff. My sister, every time she got $20 straight to Target, would buy like a brand new like expansion pack. And you know, some of those are cool. I think some of them kind of ruin the game because all of a sudden The Sims just becomes about that one singular expansion pack. But for stuff like I still have The Sims. I have Loft stuff, which gives you access to like more furniture, I think some clothes, etc. But like that like adds to like character detail. It doesn't add or take away from the game. So yeah, me and my sister were like low-key obsessed with The Sims for like a hot second. But yeah, I feel like
Oh,
overall I've just always been surrounded by technology. Because if it wasn't like the Wii, I was playing. Because I've played Minecraft since like first grade, so like
Hell
it was before
yeah.
a lot of the major updates.
Yup.
Side tidbit: I don't like Minecraft anymore. I feel like they're ruining it with all the new crap stuff they're adding. But anyway,
gotta play Mod with Minecraft.
anyway, that's just completely a biased opinion from someone who's been playing it like my entire life. I don't know. I like the simplicity of it, and they're just adding things that aren't needed that makes it not simple. Like bees do nothing, honey does nothing, like red pandas do nothing, polar bears do nothing.
Actually,
They're adding
honey
more mobs
is
and more biomes that aren't necessary. But whatever.
actually honey is useful in redstone contraptions.
I don't care. Shut your damn mouth.
Oh,
For someone who's not big into redstone, it doesn't contribute anything to the game.
Oh yeah, I know.
The only thing I ever used
doesn't, though.
redstone for was like to flex that I had like 3 chests fulls, which is not a flex, and like potion brewing. That's like about it.
Which I don't
No?
think it's used for anymore. I don't think
It
they
did
use
not. I
redstone
know that
anymore.
like I forget what I know. I think redstone and like glowstone made like an awkward potion, and gunpowder made it like a splash potion.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been so long I can't remember correctly.
yeah.
But,
I
yes,
don't think that
I-
they use redstone anymore for that.
I remember the good old days where me and my siblings would just spend an entire weekend just playing Minecraft. I remember my dad would be so upset too. 'Cause, like I mentioned before, my dad had custody on weekends.
Mhm.
And it wasn't even the fact that we weren't spending time with him, it was the fact that we were playing video games instead of working. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know if anybody else, like, I think a lot of kids agree, but I think my dad took it to like a whole nother extent. But like, I feel like every child was used for like child labor for their parents. My dad
Oh,
took
yeah.
that to like the 100th degree, where he's like, oh, I feel like building a new deck today. Guess what we're doing? We're getting a car. We're going to Lowe's.
Let's go to Lowe's.
I remember we did like a lot of gardening, a lot of planting. We did a ton of composting, and now I know how to compost, which is good because California is legally requiring it now. And you know what? Everything they're telling you to compost is wrong. I can tell you 100%. Over half the crap they're telling you to compost is wrong, but that's not the point. Anyway, but yes, I remember my father would be like, "You're in here playing freaking, I don't even remember. It was like this one dog game called Puppy Love. He's like, you guys are doing this shit instead of going outside." And it's like, absolutely, sir. Absolutely, all day, every day. I'd still rather play that early 2010 game than go outside and like pull weeds for like nothing. And I swear to God, you know what? We weren't even paid. Like, not only did he like waste so much of our time, it was, oh my God, I'm really upset. I remember because he also wanted to start this worm farm, so that way he'd be able to sell
As you
fertilizer
do.
to other farmers. And then he's like, I will give you $1 for every cup of worms that you guys do. And I don't think he was expecting us to do well, but we were out there for 3 hours, and I got 98 cups, so my sister got 99, and then he didn't cough up the money. And you know what? I'm
Dang.
still petty about it to this day.
Dang.
It's not even about video games anymore. It's just me talking about my dad's child labor.
Oh,
Sweet Dad, you owe me
well.
$100.
Yeah, he
to,
does.
to get back on the thing,
No, we're not getting back on the thing. Another thing.
it's- oh, I will say I am mostly a PC gamer now, but today, but like, but before I got to that point, like, I had a few like different like just kind of phases of gaming in between that. Like after the Wii, like I pretty much moved on to like the Nintendo DS, like and that whole series of stuff. Like I played all the
Crap. I
played
totally
like
forgot about the
yeah, I
fucking
played like all the
Nintendo
Pokemon
DS
games and
phase.
stuff. Like I got
Yeah.
really into like the Nintendo like Pokemon games. Like I didn't get the opportunity to play them on like the original ones like
the
Pokemon
virtual,
like
the Game
yeah.
Boy Advanced. Yep.
Yeah, on the
Yep,
Game
the
Boy.
Game
Bro,
Boy.
that's
So
right.
I
Bro.
played all the ones I could on the DS and stuff like that.
I loved that. I really do. I remember I'm also now a PC gamer, and I feel like that's also just because of the Xbox story. I don't want to be a generation behind, so it's like I'm gonna get a console that's like never gonna like outdate, because they'll just send out software updates and that's about it. But
Mhm.
dude, the freaking DS phase, I totally forgot about that. That was such a vibe. I loved playing Kirby with my siblings. And the best part about it too, that really sucks that video games aren't like this anymore, is they did like the LAN thing where it's like Minecraft used to do this, but now they don't do it anymore either because they sold out for fucking Realms, but whatever. But yeah, I remember only one person had to own the game, and you just had to be like next to them.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And you could like play multiplayer, and that shit slapped so hard. Kirby was hands down my favorite. I still like, bro, the insane amount of Cooking Mama games I had. For what reason? Why? For what reason?
Yeah.
But,
There's a
I
game.
like.
Oh.
No, I'm not done. Anyway, I
My bad.
also, I think my brother paid like $50 or $50 to $100 or something for one of his friends' DS. But it was like a 3DS, and he just gave it to me. Like 2 weeks later, he got bored and he gave it to me. So I just got like a free 3DS. But the thing is I didn't want to pay for games, so it only came with like 3 games. And I think one of them was Pokemon. I don't even remember the other 2. So I never used it for years and years and years. And then flash forward to COVID 2020, and my sister's screaming at me about freaking what's it called? Animal Crossing. And so, bro, 2020, I was just freaking playing Animal Crossing non-stop on my freaking 3DS, just vibing. Also, I will turn it over to Brandon now, but I'm also gonna say GameCubes were also a major bop.
Yeah,
the
that was-
GameCube.
Like I never owned a GameCube, but I had a friend in elementary school that had one, and he brought it over, and we would play like Sonic Adventure, like the Sonic Adventure games on it and stuff, and I had fun with that. But I never actually owned the GameCube. But
Still own a GameCube. Technically, it's my brother's, but we still own one. It's in amazing condition. It still works. And I mean, I haven't played it in a few years, obviously, because like it's unplugged and it's like put away in the closet. But my favorite game was Pikmin, and I think the absolute bane of my existence is the fact that they never expanded on it. They never, like, if they made Pikmin available, like, on PC, all they ever did, I would literally buy that shit 10 times over. It was so good and so amazing. I think it's owned by, like, Nintendo now.
Yep.
But I don't want to buy, like, a Wii U, and I definitely don't want to buy a Switch. I'm sorry. I think anybody who calls themselves a gamer, but then they only own a fucking Switch is just so annoying. And it's like, no, you own a mini tablet.
No, I would say that, yeah, no, you don't classify as a gamer if you have only one console. I don't care how many games you have on it. If you only have one console or one method of playing those games, you're not considered
You're a casual gamer. You're like casual, but everybody's a casual gamer. You know, like, my mom has freaking Candy Crush on her phone. That doesn't make her a gamer.
Absolutely, it does. According to Instagram ads, she's so much better than Dad at those games, dude. She's kicking Dad's ass out here. Dad's got like 2 IQ. He's got fishbowl brain.
I don't know about you guys, but I remember a while back in like 2012 to like 2014, somewhere in that. I don't remember exactly. I think it was around the time I was like almost in middle school. I remember my siblings and my dad were really obsessed with this app called Cookie Clicker. And there are a lot of similar apps out there. I don't understand what the fuck that was about. What was that?
Okay,
That was a fucking tragedy.
I can explain this because I have an amazing story attached with Cookie Clicker. So, in 6th grade, alright, my friend Alex discovers this thing called Cookie Clicker. And
okay, so it was around 6th grade, yeah.
Yeah, in 6th grade he discovers this thing called Cookie Clicker, and it's on his computer, which is kind of just like the early edition of a Chromebook. It's just a really tiny laptop thing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, dude, all I have to do is press this thing, and I make money off of it, and I can buy more things. It's literally just Adventure Capitalist, if you've ever seen that, but it's just cookies. Yeah. It's just cookies. The more cookies you get, the more people you can please with the cookies. And
I remember they'd be fucking sitting there clicking their phones to get more cookies, and I was like, for what reason? Why?
You just keep collecting cookies, and then you can give them to people who will also give out more cookies. At one point, you can get to grandma level cookies that are fucking amazing, and it gives you more cookies. But anyways, he discovers this game, and he's just like playing it in the middle of one of our classes, like during school. And Dylan, of all people, is just like, "What are you playing?" And is amazed by this game of him just clicking a cookie in the middle of his
screen. Oh my god, Dylan would be entertained by that.
The thing is, though, is that I had no idea any of this was happening until, flash forward maybe about a month later, we're at this thing called Knowledge Bowl, which is just, answering questions. It's it's trivia, but it's competitive trivia, basically. And all of us are in Knowledge Bowl. Like Alex, my friend Alex, Dylan, friend Jake, like we're all in Knowledge Bowl together. And all of them are playing Cookie Clicker literally like 10 minutes before we're supposed to go sit down and do the goddamn Knowledge Bowl. Like, they're all just in the corner playing Cookie Clicker, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? We literally have to go do something, like, in 5 minutes. And because I was the one who wasn't over there in the corner, I was the one who was being sent by our Knowledge Bowl coach to go get them and get them off their asses so we can go start the Knowledge Bowl. Because it was also at our school. We were hosting that Knowledge Bowl, so our coach was the person who was announcing the Knowledge Bowl, and he was just like, I have to do this in like 5 minutes. Tell them to hurry the hell up, otherwise I will disqualify our own team. And I was like, alrighty, guys, stop clicking cookie. Oh my god, but yeah, Cookie Clicker, man. That's a blast from the past. Jeez.
I don't know why I
Dang.
remember it, because it like came and went so quick. It only lasted like a week or two.
Because that
But
game style is boring.
Yeah, because it was repetitive, obviously. Obviously, they did something right, because they had such a fucking huge amount of people join so quickly. My
Yeah.
question is why? Like, if you're on YouTube, please comment if you were into Cookie Clicker, what appealed to you? Why don't you stick with it? Like, people who are like, oh, I watched a movie while playing it. It's like, yeah, but you're watching the movie. Like, you're not even paying attention fully to the game. Like, that further proves my point that it's boring as shit. I don't get it. I remember I downloaded it, like, after I saw all three of them on the couch just sitting there clicking their phones, and I was like, let me try it, and then, like, 2 minutes later, I was like, what the hell is this? I was disgusted. I was like, bro, how are y'all not bored out of your mind?
It's fantastic.
Oh man. Well, okay, and then I guess for me, I guess the next kind of phase of my gaming, whatever, after the Nintendo DS was eventually, on my grandma's computer because she would pretty much pick me up after like school during my elementary school days, and like on her computer, that's when I also started playing Minecraft on like her computer and stuff like that. It was just kind of a home computer setup, and I played Minecraft, and then the other major game, game I played was Club Penguin.
God damn it!
Like there's like some other games kind of going around my school, but that I never really got into. Like there's this one called like Pop Tropica or something like that.
Oh my
like,
god!
Kids would play. I never got into that. I was just pretty much playing Club Penguin or Minecraft. Like,
God damn.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
That's
Club Penguin was good times, bro.
Did you guys ever play the Nickelodeon version of Club Penguin?
No, I did not.
the Nickelodeon version?
Yeah, so there was Nickelodeon had their own little thing. When the method of PC gaming was browser gaming, you would go to a website and then there would be a bunch of people on that website. That died out a while ago, but like when that was the method of online gaming, Nickelodeon hopped on the trend, and their website is like nick.com or whatever. But
I'm looking it up now.
I don't know if it's still available. I don't know if it's still up or not. But you could go
Club Penguin
in.
got shut down, so
You
I don't
could
know.
go into your account and create what was basically your avatar, a 3D model of yourself. And like Club Penguin, you could get a bunch of different like outfits and stuff to put on. But you would also be able to enter in like rooms of specific shows and play specific games based off of those shows. Like there would be trivia, or like if the show had a specific game or theme to it, you could play those kinds of games or themes. And you could also like unlock methods of like specific articles of clothing and whatnot from those specific shows. And that was my version of Club Penguin because I thought it was awesome. Nickelodeon was the show, was the TV shows that I watched all the time. It's like, you know,
Well, okay, so Nick.com is still a thing, but when you go to the game thing, it has like a warning saying that like there are advertisements for like different things to buy. So like it literally has to, like, of course it's on a child website where they have access to buy things.
Right.
But yeah, literally half the screen right now is an advertisement for Roblox.
Oh jeez.
I think Roblox is a cult. Like genuinely, because PC gaming is fun, right? Like you buy one game, you're done, unless you're fucking. What's the thing that does a shit ton of in-app purchases? What's the game?
Mobile apps?
No, not mobile. It's like EOS or whatever the fuck. I don't remember.
Oh,
Anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway. Roblox is such a fucking scam. And the way I found this out is because, like, I didn't realize how essential Robux were to the game. Like, I have played Roblox. It wasn't for very long. It was for, like, It was during my freshman year of high school, and that's because my friends wanted to play, so I was like, whatever. And so we screwed around the entire time. Like, we weren't even doing, like, shit we were supposed to be doing to, like, the rules of the specific map or game or whatever. I remember our favorite was, like, this weird shipbuilding one, which we had fun. We just build, like, fucking giant dicks, and we ride that all the way to, like, the end until we died. But, I didn't realize what a fucking scam it was, because you use it to buy outfits, to, like, unlock certain things. But, like, the most fucking insane thing to me is you need to pay to change your username. I don't know why that's, like, so weird to me. I think it's so weird that you have to pay to change your username. I get the games where it's like they give you the option to change it once and then that's done. I think, like, you have to pay every single time to change it. So weird. I
Interesting.
just think it's really weird.
I hate Roblox with a passion. I've only played it once ever, and my computer thought it was too stupid to even load it.
I like how, okay, I've scrolled down past the ad, and the entire game page just references you to their apps.
Yep.
Like, it's not even real games. It's just a picture of, like, what their apps look like.
Mhm.
Super Brawl,
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Portal Power, Henry Dangerous Crime War.
My favorite game was the Super Brawl Soccer. It was basically you just were able to pick like a team of different Nickelodeon characters. But you could also just beat each other up on the field. Someone could be dribbling down the field, and if you were like Donatello, you could just smack him in the face with your giant bow staff and go the other way. It would be fantastic because it was also online gaming too. I would just pick players with like incredible reach and just beat the other team up.
Yeah.
That would be all that it would be. Oh, it's fantastic.
Do you want to know what was really, really smart? Do you guys remember Webkins at all? I know it was more
Yeah.
like a game targeted towards, like, young girls and stuff.
I
But,
know what you're talking
I know
about.
what
I
you're
never
talking
played
about.
it though.
So that was like other than Club Penguin, that was like my first ever like online browser game that I played. You know, you make an account. Essentially, the concept of Webkins is all of your characters are these little animals, and you can like walk around. You can go to parks. You can decorate their homes. You can like buy or make clothing. You can go to like public places and talk to people. Play games, obviously. You know, buy clothes for them, etc. It was kind of like every other game, essentially.
Yeah.
The thing about Webkins that was so smart is, like, Club Penguin, you just have one character, it's a penguin, that's it. Webkins, you could have multiple characters, but the way you get more, like, animal characters is you buy stuffed animal versions of them in store that come with a code that you can enter online. And so, like, you have a stuffed animal version of them in real life, and then you use the code so that way you can play them online. And so, I was obsessed. I think we've made it, like, perfectly obvious. When I was obsessed with something as a child, I was obsessed, and I went for it 100%. I was an asshole about it, though. Every single time I went somewhere that, like, had Webkins, I would ask for one. I got one for birthdays. I got them for, like, whatever. And essentially, I even remember this birthday party, which looking back is probably so expensive. It was like this birthday party of 15 girls, and the mom of the party took us to like Justice, which is like a young girls' clothing store. And essentially, she was like, everybody can spend $20, and I was like, looking back, I'm like, $20 for like each girl is like a pretty expensive trip. But whatever. I remember, well, everybody was looking through the clothes. I was like, damn, which Webkin do I want? I was like, damn, this is crazy. I struck the jackpot. So I got 2 Webkins that day. I was so fucking happy. But, the thing where my obsession comes in, though, is I don't think they were expecting kids to get as many Webkins that I got. And I have, like, somewhere between 35 to 40 Webkins on my account.
Oh!
Yeah,
Oh!
I bought an ungodly amount. The only one that was... I had one that I got for free, though. And that one was... do you guys remember the movie Hop? about like that guy who's supposed to be the
I think
Easter
so,
Bunny or
yeah.
whatever, and he
Yeah.
runs away.
Yeah, that
He wants
cursed
to be a
thing.
drummer.
That really
Yeah.
They did a
cursed movie.
promotion for that video. They did like a promotion for that, and so everybody got like a free bunny for that promotion.
Oh, okay.
So that's the only free one I got. But
I thought you had
the-
like one of
the
those
way-
gas station
okay,
coupons.
so I
that
have
was
35 to like 40 webkins and 2 of these butterfly things. I don't remember what they're called, but they're part of the same universe, but they're like separate in a weird way. Anyway, the reason I'm an asshole is because out of like the 35, let's just call it 35, out of my 35, only like 28 of them were mine.
Did you steal the others?
I did from my siblings.
Wait, what?
My siblings also had Webkinz accounts. They were not nearly as into it as I was, but let's just say if they waited more than like 2 weeks to enter in their codes, I would snag that shit so fast. I would like constantly keep tabs on where everything was, and I remember I used to snip it off too, because they used ribbons to tie it onto their hands. I would snip off their ribbons and I'd enter in the code so fast. And what sucks is like it's not transferable. So like once you enter in a code, you're done. You don't get it back. It's over. So I stole my siblings' Webkins, and they used to get so upset. I remember one time, my mom was like, "You better not do this shit again. I'm gonna beat the crap out of you." And I was like, "Okay, I won't. I swear." And then I stole my brother's again. After I stole my brother's Webkins code from like a monkey that's been in his closet for like weeks. And I remember he covered for me. He's like, no, it's okay. I gave it to her. And I was like, whew. And then I never did it again. But the reason I find this so funny is because Webkins is still a thing to this day. Like, it hasn't shut down. It's still very much alive. So, like, every once in a while, I will go on there. Like, it could be anywhere from, like, a few months to, like, I'll wait, like, a year or two. But I'll go on every once in a while just to be like, haha, all my characters are here, etc. My account is like incapable of being supported on any laptop. Because every time I log into my account, it just crashes because there's so many like things going on.
There's
Like,
way
my
too many
desktop
Webkins.
can run it no problem, like super easy. But then I open it on my laptop, and I swear to God, it gets so hot, and it has like a seizure, and it eventually
Sound
like
like
crashes.
a jet engine. Just
Yeah,
your
like
Webkins
I
are trying to
have
take
so
over.
many. It was not good. And just think about it, because like everyone was worth like $10 or $15, so that was just a lot of money I invested into Webkins. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And I didn't even like the stuffed animals. Like, I wasn't in it for the stuffed animals. It was just the code. That's all I wanted. I
Wow.
was like, who cares about this? There are a couple. Like, my very first ever Webkins was not a real animal. There was, like, one... There were, like, a couple animals that they, like, quote-unquote create. Like, there was, like, this ape or monkey or whatever, but, like, instead of being brown, it was, like, pink and had hearts on it. But the one animal they actually created, it was called a Google. And it was
Oh.
yeah, it was called a Google. I will send you guys a picture.
I'm kind of
It was
scared.
called a Google. It was the weirdest looking thing. It had no arms. But you know what? I loved that Webkin the most out of all of them because it was my first ever Webkins. The thing is too is I remember setting up the account with my mom, but I don't remember the process of like what I named it. And for whatever reason, I named the weird creature Tallulah.
Oh.
I don't know why at
Nice.
all.
Nice.
But you know what? It was a vibe of a time. I really enjoyed it.
Before I move into this next segment, Steven, do you have anything you want to add?
I have something I want to add.
Okay.
These are the pictures of what a Google looks like.
Oh, what the
Both the online version and the
Fuck.
stuffed animal.
hell?
Oh,
It's kind of like a weird duck thing.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't know. I
Yeah,
would
so
say
imagine
that,
having that, but naming it Tallulah.
Looks like a Tallulah. I would say that I never got into Club Penguin. Like I said, I only did the Nickelodeon things, but that was because like I really like Nickelodeon, so like that was the only reason. I didn't get like an actual like laptop until maybe my 7th grade or 8th grade year, so I didn't spend a lot of time on that. Plus, that's when like I got slowly introduced to like Steam and all those other capabilities, and Minecraft and stuff. So then I just stopped going on there because I was like, oh, I can get games without having to like go online. Okay, that's better then. But one thing that I will say, as it regards to, like the collecting of animals and whatnot, one of the things that always tripped me was that, um, I've always been a fan of like the time-based games, especially like the mobile app games, where you kind of just have to like wait to do things. It adds more progress to it, and you get proud of it as you slowly progress through games. So games like Clash of Clans, those style games, those are fun to have on my phone because I can check them occasionally and do whatever things. But I also just kind of have to wait for things to happen. I do enjoy those games, but one game in particular that always seems to come around when I least expect it is a game called Monster Legends. I don't know if you guys ever played Monster Legends, but essentially,
It
did
sounds
at one point,
familiar.
yeah.
it's the
but
game.
I don't
It's the
haven't
game
played it.
like Dragon City, all these other things where you just get monsters, you can breed them, and then you fight with other players and whatnot. Because I was a big fan of Pokemon, this game was really cool because it was just collecting elemental monster things, and you could breed them to get mixed elemental stuff. And I was like, this is a pretty cool game. And then the RPG aspect of they have moves and stuff. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I played that game when I was in like 4th grade on my phone or iPad at the time, and really enjoyed the game. Like I really enjoyed it. I think the iPad that I had was like the first generation iPad, and at some point the game got updated to where it was no longer supporting of that iPad, and I wasn't allowed to play it. And I was super bummed about it.
Oof.
But then like maybe flash forward to like 8th grade, 9th grade, on my friend Andreas and my friend Jake exposed me to a game called My Singing Monsters, which is
Oh, I remember the ads for that thing.
Yeah.
I remember Dylan played that.
which
Why
is
am I
essentially
not
the
surprised?
same game. It's essentially the same game, except the monsters just sing, and the more monsters you collect, the more you complete the song of that island. I got really into that game really quickly and really fast, to the point where I progressed so fast, so quickly, that my friends Andreas and Jake, who had been playing the game for about 5 years, were surprised that I was catching up to them. 5 years worth of
Insane.
progress I caught up to in about a year, and they were just like unbelievably astonished with how
don't-
long I played that game.
That doesn't shock me because you have ADHD. What shocks me is the fact that they could play that game for that long.
Oh, right? That
I
they
get-
stuck with that game for so long?
yeah,
Yeah.
like I wish I could be really passionate about one thing, but I'm not. I just go from one thing to the next, and yeah, I'll go back and revisit it, but I could never just consistently play something.
Alright, Brandon, this segment's gotta be a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
Running
yeah,
low
I was
on
gonna say, I
times.
figured we're running out of time, so I'll skip through this real quick. But basically, yeah, I mean, I had all like the stuff I mentioned before, but my real like turn to PC gaming, like I had a laptop at one point, and I discovered Steam in like 2013, like, and my first ever like Steam game was Terraria, and then like I had like a break from it, and I used my dad's like Xbox 360, but then he introduced me to first-person shooter games, and my first ever like first-person shooter was Half-Life, which I do absolutely recommend. It is an older game, but honestly, like the whole Half-Life series is great. Yeah, and he like taught me how to like build like put together PCs. Like we went to I forget what it was called, but it was an actual like just PC part place. It's gonna drive me crazy now. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, we just went in. He picked me up like graphics card, just CPU, and just power supply and stuff like that. And he showed me how to put it together and yeah, just ever since then, like I've been pretty much just like diehard PC gamer, like, and I've gotten really into building PCs and stuff like that, and improving my own. And like, I when the RTX 3080 came out, that was an absolute just that I don't even know how to.
Ew.
That was a journey, because it came out in like what, October or not October, November or something, like, and from that day, like I was trying to get one off Best Buy. Like I could not, like I can't even describe like getting up early in the morning just waiting to see if Best Buy was going to drop the card, and then even if I was there, like the moment they dropped stock for the card, like you just couldn't get it in your cart because the web page would break. And yeah, I spent like 6 months trying to get, like, it was 6 months of doing that on repeat. I put up so much like alerts on my Discord on my phone and everything. Like it was very emotional for me when I finally got it in my cart like 6 months later.
Good job, buddy.
I would
Proud.
say
yeah,
that yeah.
There's a lot I could get into with just video games in general, but yeah, long story short, I am a PC gamer now. Yeah.
I would say that the moment I turned to a PC gamer was when I was introduced to Valorant.
Ew.
So and the reason being is because I never actually
I don't
had
want
I never had a game on my laptop that was like specifically for my laptop. The games that I would play would be like Minecraft or Pokemon or other things like that. I didn't have a lot of PC games at the time. And Steam was kind of just this place that reminded me that I was broke and couldn't get anything else. So so like my computer was kind of just like, I had a couple games here and there, but basically it wasn't like anything that would keep me occupied. If I wanted to do something, I would have basically play like online, like web browser stuff, because I didn't have a mouse to play Minecraft. I didn't have all these other things, so I'd just be like, yeah, all right. And then when I finally got a mouse for my computer, I was just like, I really need this. And I was still on a laptop at the time. I was just like, this is just easier. Eric had told me that I should get Valorant. It was free, and I was just like, all right, fine, I'll get it. But I didn't ever actually play it. He said the same thing about Rainbow Six Siege, and I was just like, but I don't have any money. And he bought me the game because he wanted to play it. And at one of his birthday parties, whatever, like, we were staying over at his house, and I think it was just Dylan, Eric, and I. And it also might have been McKez. And we were all just kind of chilling, and Eric was just like, we should play this game now, and introduced me to Valorant. And I was a complete ass at it, but I enjoyed the concept of it.
Damn, that's
and then
crazy.
we played Rainbow Six, and same kind of system.
yeah,
I was
that was
really
fun.
bad at it. But you know, I didn't enjoy the concept of that one as much as I enjoyed the concept of Valorant. I was really bad at both of those games. And then was just like, I want to play this game more. I want to play these kinds of games more. I want to get into like mouse stuff and like things that are like computer specific games, not
That's
like
crazy.
all these other things. And that was kind of when I started doing more PC based stuff. But I still love the nostalgia of holding a controller, playing games with the controller. It adds a whole lot of aspect to it, though.
Absolutely, because the funny thing is,
Damn, that's
too,
crazy. Anyway, let's get on to who the third wheel is.
okay, this is like, will take 15 seconds. You can time me.
1,
Don't
2,
count out loud because you're
3.
interrupting. I will say it's funny because, yeah, I have been PC gaming for all this time, but like I recently got into this new series. It's the like I don't know if you've heard of the game. It's called Yakuza.
15 seconds,
like-
shut the
like-
fuck up.
No, but like it's really recommended like you play on a controller. So I got an Xbox One controller for my PC just so I can play that whole series. And honestly, again, that's another series I recommend. But I think it's funny how, like, yeah, like diehard PC or whatever, but then like you just kind of go back to like playing with the controller, even though it's on the like, PC.
Right. Yep. No.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Hard to believe that wasn't 15 seconds.
I think you're the third wheel because you're interrupting me.
Damn, that's crazy. I can't remember what I asked. Anyway.
Oh my god, damn. Well, Grace, what are you saying? What are you saying?
Who do I think is the third wheel?
Yeah, because I'm.
Oh, absolutely without a doubt, it's you, Steven.
I just love that Brendan of still alive. You have a reasoning, Grace?
Yeah.
Can I hear it?
God, so needy. Okay, so essentially, you've always been behind in technology, and I feel like Brandon and I, just I don't know, for whatever reason, we've always been really forward about it. Brandon, even though he's still strongly PC gamer, he still uses like his PlayStation and whatever, for like Red Dead Redemption, whatever. So he's like a gamer on multiple fronts. You seem like, compared to me and Brandon, you seem like a much more casual gamer, and you said that you weren't really a PC gamer until Valorant, which was only like 2 years ago. Valorant came out in like 2020.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know what you're on, but that's ridiculous. And also, I've seen how long you've been on Steam. I've been on Steam longer than you. That's kind of pathetic.
And the reason for it being is that I joined Steam, I got Valorant, I got all these different things when I bought my tower.
Damn, that's crazy. Can't remember when I asked. Anyway. I think that's really sad. I've always been a material girl when it comes to games.
I hate that. I hate it. Stop.
Hashtag girl boss.
Stop.
But no, I've been living life since literally like kindergarten, first grade. That's like when I started to become like an actual major gamer, but I've always played video games like since I was like old enough to hold. I was like the very early Gen Z iPad kid. Like, obviously iPads didn't exist, but like, even with older technology, I still like love to like figure it out and whatever else. I was like pre like Toshiba laptops and whatever, but like
Toshiba
post fucking, I don't know, needing to use, like, not being able to use the internet and freaking telephones at the same time. I'm in that weird, awkward area between. But anyway, I vibe. The end. Steven, you suck.
Brandon, are you sticking with your comment, or was that just for a joke?
Yeah, Brandon, tell me.
I want to out of sheer spite. I was gonna say that Grace, you did go off topic a few times, but your other stories were funny, and you did make a compelling argument just there. So,
Hey, you just get bonus with me. Child labor and video games are two of my favorite things.
Oh man. Yeah, I will vote for Steven in this case as well.
Alrighty, and not that it matters. I agree with your standpoint. I haven't been like an actual gamer as far as like this kind of definition for quite some time. Like I said, I bought my tower maybe like 2 years ago when I finally had enough money. And when I did buy it, I spared no expense. I chatted with a bunch of people who have built like several PCs. One of them was like a family member and was able to get a really good price on it. And so I was just like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go all out. But yeah, I did spend a lot of my life being a console gamer, which is why I don't have many hours on like Steam or anything else, because I didn't have the opportunities.
Damn.
So yeah.
Fucking poor.
I know, right? I would.
Whoa.
I would say for my vote, I'm gonna vote you, Brandon, purely because of the fact that Grace and I having the grinding aspect of, there's that one game that we did a whole bunch of things for her. Her buying and even stealing a bunch of stuffed animals to progress in a
To
game.
fuel my addiction.
to fume the addiction. Meanwhile, I was over here with my boy Jake, and we were basically creating a cult of monster vendors. I thought that was really funny. So yeah, I'm just gonna say I don't have any other compelling reason other than the fact that I also hate you for playing Terraria.
Dang.
Terraria isn't even that bad. Like
I
used
know,
to be
but
like,
I
"Ew,
know.
it's a rip off Minecraft," but it's actually not that bad.
I know. I've played some Terraria. I just think
What
it's
I
funny
will
to make
say
that
is I
comment.
used to think that like I was the richest person in the world because every year on Christmas my grandparents would buy me a 1-year membership to Club Penguin, so I constantly had a membership all year, like years and years and years.
Bro, that
So
took
I'd
so
be
much
like,
courage for me to like ask my
no.
mom for a Club
I don't
Penguin
even. I think
membership.
I asked once, and then my mom just made it like an annual like grandparent present because it was a good thing that we all wanted. But I think if I had to make a final comment, if you play League or World of Warcraft, go fuck yourself.
Dylan.
Like, honestly,
Rip
okay,
Rest
okay,
in
but like
peace, Dylan.
everybody who's like, but I understand that like the fandom and like the players is like a pretty toxic community, but you know, besides that, like me by myself in the game itself is fine. No, go fuck yourself. No, you're literally contributing to a toxic environment.
I would like to make a comment. I'm not gonna. I agree with the League of Legends things. I'm not gonna defend that game.
World
But I
of
will
Warcraft
say-
was specifically just to attack Dylan. Nothing more, nothing less.
I don't
World
defend
of
WoW because
Warcraft
you have to
is,
pay for it on a
WoW is
subscription.
mid.
World of Warcraft, I think I would say definitely is like one of those video games. I guess for like the older generation, because like my dad like played World of Warcraft like back like when
That
he
says a lot.
when
The man who's
video
trying
game
to kill you
PC
played the
gaming
one video
kinda
game I don't
started,
like.
like PC gaming like just kind of started like
Yeah.
gaining traction. Like I think World of Warcraft is just
Alright.
I
You
would
guys
say,
had
yeah.
to say like one thing to like. What's one last thing you guys want to say that basically sums up everything we're saying here?
Nostalgia is a big factor of video gaming. You can have a lot of things, but I would say the term gamer is a specific term that other gamers will attack you for if you don't fit the requirements.
We are one of those
Um,
people.
Yeah, so like you're not a gamer if you focus in one area. You can like gaming, you can enjoy gaming, but you're not a gamer if you don't specify in multiple areas of gaming. You gotta
Especially
have
if you're only obsessed with like one video game. Like if you're like that 2020 Animal Crossing obsessed person, you're not a gamer.
Mr.
If you
Rainbow
own a
Roach.
Switch, you're not a gamer.
If you own more than a Switch, though, you're fine.
yeah.
But you're kind of a cringe gamer. If it's half your gaming, you're kind of cringe, but you're still a gamer.
I love my Switch.
Anyway, Brandon, go ahead. One takeaway. Go ahead.
If everyone has their backgrounds with gamings and stuff, including like the three of us, there was definitely similar aspects in all of our stories, but at the same time, they're all just kind of unique. But I think the important thing is we're all pretty much, PC gamers now, and like we play games together, and I thoroughly enjoy, like especially like with our recent like playing of the Forest and stuff. I do enjoy that, so it's cool now.
Why are you
Like-
kissing our asses?
I'm not kissing it, but we've already decided who the third wheel is. I have nothing to gain or lose from making these comments. I'm just wanting to put it out there.
He's a natural simp.
I'm just saying, I enjoy, like playing video games. Like I like before I played with you guys and just other friends and stuff. They're absolutely fantastic single player games. Like I mostly play single player games, but I think with the right people or whatever, like just there's certain like other games or just multiplayer games that just is more fun playing with
Fans
other
in the
people.
forest.
Man in the forest.
I think you two are just like that kind of specific group of people for me, where I do enjoy playing just random other games, whether it's like Hand Simulator or like I don't know, like we've played a lot of other games together that my brain's kind of fried right now, but I can't think of them right now. But I thoroughly enjoy playing
Monopoly
games.
Plus.
Huh?
I said Monopoly Plus.
Monopoly Plus, that's
Yeah.
another one. Yeah. But
Yeah.
Alrighty.
What
Well,
about you,
I
Grace?
think it's about time to wrap it up.
Do you not have any closing thoughts?
I did. My comment about League.
Oh, I didn't realize that was your closing thought.
Yeah, I know. Alright, thank you for tuning into this week's episode of Third Wheel. Steven, shockingly, I mean, we're all gamers, so I had no idea which way this was gonna go. But,
I'm
Steven is
too
the
young.
Third Wheel. He will pick the topic for next time. Add us on socials, even though we don't really post much.
there's a
podcast could be an episode with a guest on it last week.
there's a 20-frame duck
Brandon,
picture.
stop interrupting me. You're being rude. Anyway.
You were rude earlier. I feel
Anyway.
no remorse.
I am uncomfortable.
Yes, add us on whatever podcast streaming platform you're listening to this on. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, roast us, do literally whatever you want. If you want to be on the podcast, shoot us an email. It's what Steven lives for. It's his literally, like, part of his job. I think Randall's just kind of dead at this point. I think he killed himself from the insane amount of dog food we were making him eat. But
It's because that we haven't gotten any sponsorships yet. We weren't
yeah,
able to
please
fund
sponsor us so we can give Randall the good dog food.
We're gonna get sued for
Anyway.
abuse.
Remember that there's nothing wrong with being the third wheel, except if you play Animal Jam.
I thought you were gonna say League.